Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome back to some more Let's Play Star Fox Adventures. Last time, we returned our second spell stone to the Ocean Force Point Temple, and on our way out of K-Claw, we got attacked by the members of the LightFoot Village. And right before we were about ready to leave, Tricky told us that maybe we should look around to see if there's a Krazoa Spirit here, which is what we're going to be doing today. But what we need to do first is we need to go around and search for 3 little wooden blocks like this. Because in order for us to go over to talk to the LightFoot Village chief, we need 3 of these to lower some platforms right here in the water. So we need to go around the LightFoot Village and see if we can find some wooden blocks. And we already found our first one, so there's that all taken care of. We just need to look around for all the places we can dig. These are the places that will have these wooden blocks for us. If I can find my grub tubs, there we go. Let me get another one, just because. And see here, use Tricky's flank man here. And let's run through the fire, and there's an invisible wall, apparently. I never get to shout it off, but if there's a little hole that you're trying to go through when there's a fire burning there, the fire acts as a wall for that time, and that's a great shot of Tricky and a great shot of my arm going through his forehead. Fantastic. But yeah, the second that you're burning something, it still acts as that object's there. So when you're trying to burn down that mesh just to walk through it, it acts as like it's still there as a wall, so you're walking into an invisible wall, burning yourself in the process. Kinda weird when you really think about it like that. Unfortunately though, that kinda halts our process. Our process? Our progress! Halts what process? I wanna know what process that would halt. And where's Tricky when you need him? Oh, there you are. Appearing out of nowhere like always. Figured as much. We use this find command right here, and that should give us our last wooden block. So now with this little tedious chore out of the way, we can actually go over to talk to the chief of the LightFoot Village. It's kind of stupid. In order to actually go over to where the chief is, we need to actually collect all these little wooden blocks just so we can raise up platforms that should have been raised to begin with. Oh, go away, no one wants you here. Shoo, shoo. Ah, seriously, those enemies are so annoying. They always come around when you don't want them to be there. It's really annoying. But now that we have all the 3 wooden blocks, we need to climb back up this ladder. And right around where that totem pole is, where we were being held captive, you'll notice all these little blocks of wood being pushed into these sides, but 3 blocks of wood are missing, which were the 3 that we found. So we can go through our inventory and eventually we will find it. There we go, there's our first one. That was the one shaped like a sphere. Then we have our second one, which is the shape of a triangle. And then the last one, which is the shape of a cube. And thus, there's Shapes with Fox for today. There's your learning lesson of today, kids. Shapes with Fox. You have a sphere, you have a triangle, and you have wood. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean block of wood. It's a natural block. It's made of wood. Get the joke? If you don't, I feel sorry for you. Let's just go ahead and head up here so we can go talk to the stupid chief. And pay attention right here. Or not. Usually there's a LightFoot Village member here, but apparently I guess they don't really show up until you actually talk to the chief the first time. So I get to go ahead and show off the little treat later then.
Oh, not you again. We know you didn't take our treasure, so just go away. Yeah. So, you looking for Krazoa spirits, eh?
Yes, I am.
So, maybe I help you, eh? You see, we keep a secret from the sharp claws. Under our village is a mighty chamber. Some say it was built by the Krazoa. Do you want to see for yourself, maybe?
Duh! Stupid question. Of course we want to see that.
Not so fast. Only if you complete the LightFoot test can you enter.
Well,
They're laughing at you, Fox. You gotta do it now.
But before you decide, take a look at this.
So we have 2 tests that we need to complete in order for us to get to this Krazoa Shrine. We have the tracking test, where we need to activate 4 totem poles in LightFoot Village in under 2 minutes 30 seconds, and the test of strength, where we're rapidly pressing the A button in order to be the strongest Lightfoot member of the village. We're gonna go ahead and do the tracking test first.
Activate all 4 totem pole before time runs out. Go!
So this is simple enough. We just need to go around the village and activate all the 4 totem poles before the timer runs out. And if you've bought the map for Lightfoot Village, this is going to be a cakewalk for you because all 4 totem poles are marked on your map with a red spot. Although it will mark the other one that you were captive on, so you can't really rely on the map alone since it'll point you in the direction of a wrong one too. You need to keep that in mind. And of course, I'm going against the current here, so it's going to take me a little bit longer. But in the Lightfoot Village, this is a part of the game where a lot of people got stuck. And the first of the 2 challenges that people got stuck on was the one I got stuck on for quite some time as a kid. The strength test. Now we'll see why when I first started, but I'm not going to have enough time to explain it during the test. So after the test, I'll explain more into detail why I got stuck on that test and why a lot of other people did too. And what the heck? Go away! Go away! Seriously, nobody wants you around, you stupid pest. Go away! Go! Go home! Stupid enemy. No one likes that thing. I never remembered their name. That's how annoying they are. But we just have one more totem pole. We have a minute left. And it's right over here, so we'll pass this test with flying colors. This is not hard in the sight. Go away! Seriously, those guys are so annoying. Oh yeah, we're gonna pass this test in flying colors. No real trouble here. It's the next test that, if you're a first-time player, you'll have trouble with. Although for me, it's gonna take less than 5 seconds, and you'll see why.
Well done, Fox. You have completed the tracking test. Very good.
So right after we complete the tracking test, we can go ahead and head back into this area and select the next test, the test of strength.
Let's see how strong you are.
This is all you have to do for this test. All you have to do is mash the A button as fast as you can, and you win.
Well done, Fox. You have beaten our strongest Lightfoot. Huh. Well done, Fox. You are now honorary member of Tribe.
Alright, so once you complete both those tests, now you'll have access to the Krazoa Shrine. It's right down here. But before going in there, we technically have one more test left when you really think about it. We need to stand on top of this box right here because there's a switch on it. Once we activate the switch, then this totem pole moves around. We pretty much have to match the pattern up, and once we match the pattern on all these different parts of the totem pole, that door will unlock. So we just need to do that, and it's a little troublesome when you really think about it. but it's more or less because of your aiming system than anything else. But that test of strength, you saw it took pretty much no effort for me now just to beat it, because I've played a lot of video games throughout my life, and a lot of them, if they have button mashing, it's not a requirement to beat the game. Unfortunately for Star Fox Adventures, you need to be able to button mash in order to beat the game. Because that section, if you don't know how to button mash, you're gonna lose. When I first played the game, I was terrible at mashing buttons. I was so bad, in fact, that I was hoping I would find someone else to help me out with that section, and then just save right after they beat it, just so I wouldn't have to deal with it. It was that bad. But luckily, I didn't have to do that. When I was trying to research an easy way to get through that section, there was a tip I read somewhere. I don't remember where. It was probably like a GameFAQs forum post or something. But I remember reading that if you use something like a pen in conjunction with a finger, then you can just hold the pen in one hand and then use your finger from the other hand and then just mash the crap out of that A button. And people were saying that that worked because for people who didn't know how to button mash, that was a much faster way of pressing those buttons. Now over the years I got better hand-eye coordination, so I didn't really have to worry about using a pen trick, but that was very useful for the GameCube controller because the A button is like one of the biggest buttons on a controller I've ever seen. So using like two hands or two fingers or anything like that, it's very easy with this controller because of how big the buttons are. Especially that A button. That button's pretty dang big. So that trick really worked. And I'm glad I found that because before I learned how to button mash properly, that's how I actually got past that section of the game. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, sheesh, I was cutting it way too close. I've never cut that close to one of those gates before, so I got lucky. I really did. I want to go ahead and step on the switch. We're going to have all these barrels rolling down. Feels like Donkey Kong, if you think about it, but there we go, we made it. Now, time for the second part that stumped a lot of people when they first played this game here. The third test for getting a Krazoa Spirit is the test of fear. You must stand and face your deepest fears, pretty much meaning you remember in the end of the last episode where we had that bar going across the screen and we need to have that red bar in the center of the green portion of it. We need to have that red bar in the green area throughout this whole entire challenge, and it's really hard to do because with each scarier thing for Fox, the thing moves around more and more on its own. It's up to you to keep it steady with your control stick, and this is really difficult to do. Now I'm going to do my best to commentate over this because I do my commentary all live, and this is the test of that. The test of multitasking and or concentration, whichever one you want to take it as. I take it as both in this case. So, I need to keep my red bar like this in the green area, and it's hard to do that because with each new obstacle coming into Fox's way, this thing moves more and more on its own, left and right. The best tip of advice I have to give on this section, just wiggle your joystick back and forward. That seems to keep it steady the most. If you try to push in one direction more than the other, you might push it too far over. And right here's the hardest part because the thing goes so far right. And after this, we should pass the test. There we go, we did it! First try with live commentary. That deserves a round of applause on its own. That's impressive when you really think about it. Because that section, your first time playing, you're gonna fail that quite a number of times. Arguably, you might even fail that more than the strength test, because that bar can move so easily on its own near the end of that test. So it's really hard for a first time player to pass that test. It really is. And in my opinion, this third Krazoa Spirit test is the hardest one in the whole entire game. And for me, comparing this to the strength test here in LightFoot Village, this is probably the hardest thing in the whole entire game, no doubt. even with all the experience I've had playing other games, so my fingers can be fast and I can be pretty accurate with moving the joystick properly with timing, that's still pretty dang difficult, and that's why I'm so impressed that I got that on my first try. It's really, really difficult to do that. Luckily, we didn't really have to worry about that, so that makes me happy. It really does. But before ending off the video, there is still one more thing we want to go ahead and do before we leave LightFoot Village. Now, this is completely optional, and you don't need to do this whatsoever. But because I wanted to show everything that the game has to offer, I need to do this. But I want to show this thing real quick. You see that LightFoot in there? Jump off the bridge, and the LightFoot just magically disappears. It doesn't make any sense. When you jump off the bridge, the thing just disappears out of existence. It's kind of funny when you think about it. Well, let's go ahead and talk to this LightFoot.
My babies like to climb trees. Find all three and I'll reward you.
So, we need to find the babies of this LightFoot. There are 3 LightFoot members in this village that I'll ask you to do so. And all 3 of them give you a different prize. One gives you fuel cells. One gains you access to a new area of LightFoot Village you can't get to, which gives you a cheat token. And one gives you more health. Not another unit of health. No, boxes that you can smash to get health. Okay. That's not a good thing, actually. It's pretty stupid when you think about it. Because you can go around the village, and you can find plenty of boxes that already give you health. Not just that, but if you leave the village, there are boxes outside that can do the same thing. So that prize is entirely pointless. In fact, I'll be able to show off which one it is when we get around to it, but when I get to that LightFoot, don't find their children. I know that sounds mean, but don't find their children. It's not worth it. But to find this LightFoot member's children, we actually need to leave the village, and we need to whack these trees, because in these trees we'll have 3 LightFoot babies. So we need to go ahead and whack them. The ones that will light up red like that have the 3 babies, and there you go. Now you might be wondering to yourself, how do we get back inside? Well, in order to actually show off the game's cutscene for showing you how to get back inside, I'll need to kind of leave the area and come right back. So this episode is probably going to be at least 20 minutes at this point. It might be a little bit more, and I'm going to apologize right now. This video is going to be longer than it probably should be. But let me just grab these scarabs. If you go all the way down to this other section, you'll get some more fuel cells, if I'm not mistaken. Or it's probably a bathroom dad now thinking about it, so I'm not really going to bother. I'm actually going to head this way, so I can leave the LightFoot Village area. Once the next map loads, I'm just going to turn right back around. And now there should be a LightFoot Village member trying to get back into the village.
Huh?
So that's the secret combination you need to know in order to get back in. Hit this tree first, and this one second, and then this one third, and that's all you gotta do. I didn't really need to show that cutscene because that's very easy to figure out from trial and error. But, you know, just for the sake of showing everything off, kind of felt that was necessary, even though it really wasn't. But now that we found all 3 of that LightFoot Village babies, let's go ahead and talk to the mother and or father. It's kind of hard to tell which one that would be. I'm going to assume mother, but then again, it's really hard to tell what gender entities LightFoot Village members are. So let's go ahead and use our staff booster here. And let's go ahead and talk to him, her, it. Let's just talk to the LightFoot Village member.
Thank you for saving my babies. Here is your reward.
So this is the one that gives you fuel cells. This hut right across from them will open up, and then you can grab some fuel cells. So if you're really needing any more, which we're not, we have more than enough at this point to complete the game. Then go ahead and save those babies, and if you get some free fuel cells right up here. A whole whopping 2. Yeah, was it worth it? I don't think so. But for the sake of showing everything off, I gotta do this, so... Even though I don't think it's worth it, I'm doing it anyways. But there's still 2 more we need to go ahead and talk to. So we head over here real quick. Let's just get on the solid ground. And stick close to the right side, because that's all ground we can actually stand in and roll around. So much faster than swimming. I'm kind of going with my inner Zelda logic. Rolling makes you faster, which in all actuality it doesn't in this game. I just do it out of force of habit, because I've played so much Zelda. But let's go ahead and talk to this LightFoot Village member.
Look out for my 3 babies! I think they're in the forest!
So when this one says, I think they're in the forest, you would think, maybe they're outside somewhere, like outside the actual village. Don't leave the village, they're not out there. They're actually in here. That message deceives you when you really think about it, because when they say, I think they're in the forest, they're not really that descriptive of what they mean by forest. What they mean by forest is where this totem pole is on the top level. They're up here. So we want to go ahead and get our staff booster ready. Take this boost pad up. And would you look at that, babies and a weird glowing blue point. What we need to do with these babies is we actually need to force them into this blue point. So, remember back in my Twilight Princess Let's Play, remember how we had to herd those goats and get them all back into the barn? Well, that's essentially what we're doing with children now. And that was actually much easier than it usually is. Usually when you're trying to herd the Lightfoot children into that little blue aura, they'll get close to it and then it'll turn right back around. Or you're trying to make them go straight, and then all of a sudden they decide to turn around. So that was much easier than it should have been, thank goodness. But the next one's probably going to be more of a pain when you really think about it.
Thank you for saving my babies! Here is your reward!
Well, that was a great picture for a Game My Reward. And that's all you get over there. Those 3 boxes near where we were captured, holding health. Just to restore your health, not to upgrade. Nope, just standard old health. Yeah, that was not worth it, so don't save our babies. Not worth it. Let's go ahead and talk to this LightFoot Village member.
My babies, they are so naughty. They like to play underground.
Alright, so when they say underground, this one's actually easy to understand, because when they say underground, they mean right where we had to go to get to the Krazoa Shrine. Which I'm not sure exactly how they would have got in here, because you can do all this stuff before this doorway is opened. So how would this work when you really think about it? How would these children get in here with a shut door? It doesn't make any sense. Now does it? But this one's really annoying, because in order to get these children to go the right way, it's all luck based, because sometimes these guys will go forward and then sometimes they'll turn around randomly. Like that. I'm not exactly sure what triggers that, but they just randomly turn around. And sometimes when you try to get them to go the right way again, they'll just turn right back around for no reason. So without a doubt, these children are the hardest to return back to their parent. And you just go forward. Which is a problem too, because whenever you're trying to get these guys to go to that center, you're almost there, they're about ready to jump to the blue aura, and then all of a sudden they make a U-turn going right back to where they started. So when you think about it, it's really annoying. The best strategy I found is just kind of walk really slowly behind them, and then it kind of resets their pattern when you think about it, because they'll just stop and then they'll go forward again, they won't turn around. So I found that to be the most effective strategy for herding them into that blue aura. There might be a better way to do it, but I found that to be the most successful way of doing things. So if you're having trouble in that section, just try going slowly behind them. Stop every once in a while, and then just start pushing them forward again with that voice crack in mind. Maybe that voice crack will help you remember this. And don't save her babies. Remember that. Don't save that parent's babies back there.
Thank you for saving my babies. Here is your reward.
So this reward is worth it because that booster pad in the very beginning of the LightFoot Village is now active. And with that being active, we can use that to get the higher ground, allowing us to get our next cheat token. So out of all the 3 babies, you want to go ahead and save that parent's babies, probably the most important one since, well, they give you a cheat token. And if you're going for all the unlockables in the game, this is something you're going to have to do anyways. So let's head over here and grab our cheat token so we can go ahead and end this video already. At this rate, this is almost as long as episode 6. And that was a long video. But let's go ahead, pay this thing 20 scarabs and get our cheat token. And hope that thing doesn't come down and attack us. Seriously, hate those enemies with a burning passion. Alright, yep, got another cheat token, take to the maze, yada yada yada. We've seen this speech already a good amount of times. I'm already losing my train of thought, so that tells me I should probably end this. I really should. Just go ahead and grab whatever is here. There's a bathroom dad over here next to the trees, so if you want our bathroom dad, there you go. Although I have more than 10. Actually, no, I have 10 since that's the limit. And there's also a firefly right here. If I can grab it. You know what? I don't need you. Oh, and then the second I say that, you get into my inventory. Figures. But now with all that out of the way, making this probably one of the longest videos in the series, when it really didn't need to be, I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here, guys. So, next time on Let's Play Star Fox Adventures, we're going to head back to Thorntail Hollow and return our 3rd Krazoa Spirit to the Krazoa Palace. I'll see you guys next time.